Hi everybody, this is Sifu Fio. Real quick message tonight. I came across this treasure among my books. I've had this approximately since I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. I paid $4.50 for it. It's called Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, a collection of Zen and pre-Zen writings compiled by Paul Reps. It's 4 books in one. And it was made in Japan, and you can see the craftsmanship. It's almost like origami, the quality. And let me get on with it. This is the main text, and I have marked this page. It's the most beautiful postcard from a good friend of mine. It's one of the oldest Zen, we call them Koans, questions. They're asked of people that are studying Zen or with a master. It doesn't matter if it's martial art or calligraphy or riding a horse or baking bread. So here is one that most people do know. A cup of tea. It's called Nan-in. A Japanese master during the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen. Nan-in served tea. He poured his visitor's cup full and then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he no longer could restrain himself. "It is over full. No more will go in." "Like this cup," Nan-in said, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" So I take a literal meaning to that. Emptying our cup is emptying our preconceived notions of ourselves, others, reality itself. And that's just one aspect. Now, that ties in with around the time I got that book. There's some photos. I started studying with Mamoru Shimemoto. I studied Shotokan Karate Do and Judo. I attained brown belt rank in both. He wouldn't promote me to black belt because he didn't believe that children should wear a black belt. He asked me, after about 6 to 9 months when I was into it and feeling a little more comfortable there, he said, "Tony, come over here." At the end of the class, he said, "I want to ask you something." He said, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" And I said, "I don't know." And he slapped me and then pinched me on the nose. And I wouldn't know when he was going to ask me this. He didn't do this every lesson. I went, I believe, 3 to 4 nights a week, as much as I could and as much as my father could afford. And when I was home, I practiced so much that often homework would get neglected. Anyway, so he'd sneak up on me again, and I would think about it. I'd be doing this against the wind. You know, what's the sound of one hand clapping? So I guess, I'm not bright enough, but he told me the meaning of that. And he said, "What is the sound of one hand clapping? It's the sound of anything that it connects with. In this case, it sounds like me slapping you. I'm clapping you, slapping you. If I hit a piece of wood, that's what that sounds like. It depends on what you're clapping at and what you can see. If you can't see what you're clapping at, then you are clapping at thin air." That was not my wisdom. That was passed on from Mamoru Shimemoto. God rest his soul, and may him and his ancestors know peace. He put me on the path of Bushido, which I do not regret. Good night, everybody. Have a pleasant weekend. I love everyone. Take care.